Hello everybody, my name is Jeff, and this is the Cells at Work episode 13 review, the final one. With me as always is Coby and Torie.
Yeah,
say hello for the final one.
Hello, final one, for the final one. Damn it, I messed up my joke, my classic joke, I ruined it.
Classic, the Coby killer.
Coby killer. Yep,
Slay
we're here for the final episode of Cells at Work, woohoo.
The final cell.
The final cell. That's a really cool title. I wish it was that. But no, instead we have Hemorrhagic Shock, Part 2. So
did the world end with a bang, or did it end with a whimper?
Well, let's get right into it. So the episode begins where we left off last time, in ruins. So we see Neutrophil, he is at the... Okay, so last episode you guys said that he was at the heart, but he's not. He's at the injury site, which is what I said originally. Because if you think about it, if he was at the heart and there was literally no cells around, then this would just be a dead body.
Okay, I don't think he's at the heart, but he's at the circulatory system. He's in the circulatory system.
He's at the site of the injury.
Who really remembers who said what and who said where, who
roll back the tape. Roll back the tape.
Yeah, I was wrong. I don't know why I was so gung-ho about him thinking why he was in the heart. I don't know why I thought that.
Yeah, what's wrong with you guys?
But we didn't see the injury, so...
But it was that was where the injury was, where all the collapsed buildings were.
Yeah.
The whole area is collapsing.
No, just that area. Well, later on, yeah, but like that initial part where the explosion happened is where the ruined buildings were, and that's where Neutrophil is headed because that's what the big wig said. All neutrophils go to the injury site.
Okay, whatever. Why are we talking about the previous episode?
Set a record straight,
we were wrong.
That's why.
That's why we were wrong. All three of us were equally to blame.
Yeah.
No blame for me. All right, so anyways, he's at the injury site, and he's shocked to find that there are no cells anywhere, and specifically, there are no red blood cells anywhere. But he does find a lone cell who is like crushed. Cell. Yeah, the exposition cell. He tells him exactly what happened, and essentially, zillions, I quote, zillions of red blood cells were sucked like a vacuum into the abyss.
A horrible death.
Yes, they're dead now. Millions. No, zillions.
Zillions.
And Neutrophil's like, whoa, that's really shocking. And that's pretty much all we see of Neutrophil until the end of the episode. Yep. Or is it?
Oh, man.
Well, anyways, yeah, so that's Neutrophil's scene. And then we jump back to Red Blood Cell and her little Kaiho, as she has dubbed her new mentee, her trainee. And they're basically running along. There's very few blood cells doing what they're doing, which is delivering oxygen still in the state of this body, which is in a state of decay. Everything's in ruins. Buildings are toppled over. And every cell that they go to is like dying for oxygen. So they're in dire straits. But Red Blood Cell keeps pushing on until it all comes to a head. That's
that whole middle section too. Red blood cell delivering oxygen.
Yep.
That's it.
And they are suffering. And there's some little scenes in there too, all of it related to suffering and all the cells doing their jobs, doing their best. You see white blood cells fighting off things. You see platelets, patching things up with fibrin and
and you see the thing that actually one of my favorite things about the show when they do this, they show like the body reacting to a crisis in the wrong way. Like they do. Yeah. It's like, oh, these blood cells need to move faster, raise blood pressure, and everyone's like, yeah, and then they kill so many red blood cells.
Yeah, they're all dead.
Yeah, they straight up died. Like when they first showed that, like they were like, oh, the red blood cells are falling into the abyss, and then they kind of made it comical. Like they started drawing them as stick figures, just kind of like constantly falling off the cliff.
No, they're dead.
Yeah, they gotta make it good for the audience.
Yeah,
all these little kids can't see all these people dying. They have to be stick figures.
Yeah, maybe they landed on a wonderful bed of marshmallow fluff and rainbows.
Yes,
I think so.
Actually. Those marshmallows might come into play later. Wink.
What?
So yeah, blood cells dying, body reacting poorly, but doing the best that it can. And the body temperature starts decreasing to the point where there is a blizzard inside the body, and we only see Red Blood Cell and her trainee trudging along the snow, arms and feet and hands heavy, carrying these boxes of oxygen. And the trainee basically goes mental and retaliates against red blood cell's continued effort to deliver oxygen when there's clearly no hope left. But red blood cell says that she will deliver things till the very end.
Do you think your cells actually do that? Where they get like tired of your shit and they're just like, there's no point. Like,
I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah,
exactly.
My cells are clogged with McDonald's and pizza, so like they don't want to move anything at all.
They're the McDonald's cells.
Yeah, the McDonald's cells are just like, hey, don't circulate blood in a fast thing. They're like, oh, yeah. Okay.
Buy chicken McNuggets. They're only $5.
I suffer a head injury, and they're just like, oh, well, this is it.
That's it.
We expected this.
It's an instant death for you, Coby.
The doctors would be weird, too, because they're like, oh, there's no blood coming out of the wound. And they'll just be like, oh, yeah, because the blood just doesn't want to move.
Yeah. It's just a completely
It's just
thick,
like solid, like
yeah,
thick ass blood.
Like a sludge.
Sludge. A blood sludge. Ew.
Yeah.
Ketchup blood. Yeah. And red blood cell continues along the blizzard until she collapses. And that's basically most of the episode. So, Adam, let's just stop right here. What do you guys think of this episode so far up to where I've discussed? What are your feelings and thoughts and emotions?
It's dark, man. So dark. All these cells are dying. It's like this hopeless abyss where, if you didn't know the context of this show and you're watching it for the first time, you might think that this is the end. Like, it's basically what they're alluding to. All functions are stopping. Things are getting worse. People just keep trugging on, even though, as the trainee said, it's pointless. It's like, man, I was feeling bad for a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, it was...
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. It was dark, but also really slow, because, I get why we focused on this episode, red blood cell struggle to, like, always continue oxygen, but what I really wanted to see is, like, I would have wanted to open up to see how everyone is reacting to things, like, to, like, all of this, to show that the body completely shutting down instead of just solely focused on red blood cell. Like, I get it, like, that push is important, like, always continue to deliver, like, no matter what. Like, it's a good moment for her, but we've spent 13 episodes knowing, like, all these different elements of the body that I really would have liked to see, like, if this is like an end-all crisis, how everything is reacting instead of just red blood cell. So that's why, and it's just, I think just that drive, just like, keep delivering, but we can't. Keep delivering, but we can't. Keep delivering. Like, I got a little boring after a while. Like, I wanted more.
But would it be different if we switched to the cells? I mean, the immune cells, I guess we would just watch them gank some monsters.
Yeah, they'd be saying different variation of the same thing. We gotta keep killing the cells.
And then every other cell is dying of oxygen. Or even the ones that are ganking are dying of oxygen. Oh yeah, they have to, like, hold their breath as they're killing stuff.
Yeah. Well, then it's like, it's... Because this shows, like, show that cells at work, right? The cells are always going to be at work. And I want to see all these cells struggling to complete their tasks, even though the odds are insurmountable. You get, like, a flash of it, but it's most of the time we're just focused on red blood cell, which is, okay, but I didn't need to keep seeing, like cross that chasm and then to the blizzard and then whatever, and then delivering it first before that, where the cell just kept saying over and over again, I can't breathe. And she's like, what? And he's like, I can't breathe. Like, do you need oxygen?
I can't breathe.
That was such a time waster.
It was like, that was when you only have 22 minutes for a finale that it's like, I get it. The cells need oxygen.
Yeah, that's what I will say that scene in particular, that threw me off because I was like, I don't understand. I thought, okay, so the scene we're talking about is when they are delivering the boxes of oxygen to random generic cells and they are exasperated, they need oxygen. They set the box down and they're like, what's wrong? Hey, these cells are acting weird. Are you okay? What's wrong with you? Oh, I'll bring you more oxygen. But, like, they keep saying, like, oxygen. And it's like, what? Why didn't they just open the box and, like, give them the oxygen?
Yeah, how hard is it to understand when someone is gasping for air
and saying oxygen, and you're the one delivering oxygen? That was weird. I don't know what was going on there. I don't know if they were trying to play it off as, like, comedic either, because it kind of seemed like they were. Like, I feel like the show kind of was kind of toting the line, like, yeah, it's dark, but also they kind of edge it towards comedy at some points, and that was one of the scenes that I think they did.
But that wasn't funny. This cell is literally dying in front of your face, and you're just
like,
reaction,
huh?
What?
Yeah, this was a difficult episode that did not blend the comedy and the darkness well like other episodes have. Like it didn't know how to match that tone of just a world-ending thing along with some light comedy.
Yeah, it probably should have just been more sincere about the darkness of it instead of, tossing in a few jokes there to score points or whatever. And the other instance is when the red blood cells were falling off the cliff and they drew them as stick figures, and it was like, wait, what? Like, am I supposed to feel sorry for these cells?
Maybe they just have a hard time depicting solely darkness because of the lightheartedness of the show.
Yeah, it's
They're
weird.
trying.
I feel like there's someone trying to tell a very committed story about the dark side of it, but then there's someone like higher up like, hey, this is a little too dark. Can we make it a little funny? Just right here.
Like,
give me 3 jokes.
My 9-year-old is watching this. We can't have people falling off cliffs.
Okay, well, drama stick figures then.
What I wonder is if where in the manga this lies. Like if this is just like a chapter in the middle somewhere, like this was just another story that they chose to have as their season finale, or if it's actually like, an end of a good ending point for it. Because it has like the stakes around it to be a good season ender, but then like this episode itself just really made it feel like just another filler episode. Like it didn't really seem that important.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be the pattern with this show that even when the stakes are really high, it will end with some kind of miracle, whether it be inside or outside the body.
Yeah, that's what I dislike. That's what I dislike. I like it when the body solves the problems on itself, because like I think that's interesting to me when bodies solve it shows how our body works to actually fight infections and the things wrong with it in a really organized way. But then there's the other episodes where it's like they need an outside influence, one with the steroid, the one with the water, and then what we'll get to talking about soon. Like those are less interesting to me.
It looks like the hemorrhagic shock chapter for the manga was not at the end. And what looks to be the end was actually the cancer cell episode. So
that makes sense.
Wait, no. Wait. They have a cancer cells part 1 and 2, but then they have a cancer cells part 2, part 1, and part 2, part 2.
Yeah, that's what. Remember, someone was saying that in our comment. Shout out to our wonderful commenter who said that there is another cancer story later on.
Yeah, and looks like they ended it off on that.
Oh, that would be good. Like you defeated cancer and it came back,
more
and that's what you leave the cliffhanger on.
That's what it should have been. That cancer episode should have been the last episode.
Yeah,
that would have been a really good one.
Because then it actually shows all the cells coming together.
Although, and it would have been a great segue into this other cancer cell episode that could appear in later seasons.
Although. So, Coby, you said you wanted this show to show more character growth for Red Blood Cell. And I think this episode, this and the last one, were basically, it was focusing on a Red Blood Cell because she's the main character, really.
Yeah,
so it shows that she has grown and now she has, in the most dire circumstances, can be effective and will not give up, even if she's bumbling around and stuff. Yeah. When things are normal, when things are down to the wire, you can rely on her to basically give her life for the body.
I know the show is called Cells at Work, but really it's only 2 cells, red blood cell and white blood cell. So I guess that's what they choose to focus their story on.
Their finale on, particularly.
Which I guess I wouldn't be complaining as much if I wasn't as bored throughout this episode. Like if I really liked it more. But it as on just analyzing it on a strictly character level, this was a good red blood cell episode.
Yeah, I mean,
what'd you think of the episode?
Again, it's like a testament to the show where it can make you believe that possibly things will go completely sour. And that's what I felt. I just like the feeling of not knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah.
At the end of this episode. I think anything could have happened. I think, maybe the body could have died. And maybe it's just because I don't have much medical knowledge up here, but the way the episode ends, it's so obvious. I'm like, man, why didn't I think of that? But I didn't even think about that possibility of how they actually resolved the episode.
Well, how did they resolve the episode?
So, red blood cell collapses in the middle of the blizzard and all is lost. Or is it? Because then she opens her eyes and she sees another red blood cell. And not just another red blood cell, she sees hundreds and thousands of them. But they look slightly different. They have different uniforms. They also are confused. They don't know where they are. So what the hell's happening here? Well, essentially, it was a blood transfusion. Mm-hmm. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Basically, they injected more blood into the body, and the cells, those red blood cells, they're all confused, but they're like, oh, time to get back to work. And back to work they did. With the reinforcements of the new red blood cells, they were able to deliver the oxygen and nutrients needed so that the body could survive another day. And that's what happened. That's how the episode ends. It is, again, a solution that comes from outside the body. So a lot of the drama inside the body was the cells kind of surviving on their own and going on to the very end. And it was resolved with the beauty of medical science.
Yeah.
I was really hoping that, I mean, I didn't know this was going to happen because I'm a dumb person who doesn't really know medical knowledge as well. Not that I called you, not that you said you were dumb, but...
Yeah, what the hell are you saying?
I heard it. That's what she called you, Jeff.
Yeah, I guess I'm dumb.
But I wish they would have sent them out like they would have shot from the air, like, pew, like aliens or something like that.
Well, we kind of see a shot of it, of them entering, not at that moment, but later on when the narrator comes in, has to explain everything.
But it would have been sick if they were just like shooting from the air, like all this blood or something.
Like paratroopers or something.
Yeah, that would have been sick.
I imagine I know they're not in capsules. They come in like they're like in a little syringe, but they would be like pew, and then she would be like Nani, like what's going on, and then.
It works for the joke because like the funny thing about the one thing I liked about that was them saying like we don't really know how we got here either, like where are we, like the body needs help, let's do it. Like I get that theme, but it's like it would have been so cool if all of a sudden, if they're actually like a precise like military, like they're like the Marines, like they're the blood you call in when there's like
Marine blood.
Yeah, the Marine blood. So they charge in, and they're like what are they? They're like the little toy soldiers in Toy Story, like the green, like the army men. Like, move like that. They're synchronized. They're like one color. They're jumping down and they're like precisely and like saving.
I guess so. I kind of prefer this way because really the red blood cells, they represent kind of like the salt of the earth, the blue-collar laborers of today's society, the guys that keep things moving. And I like that they're just kind of like simple folk. They drop in, they're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what we're doing here, but I know what our job is supposed to be. And as soon as they hear what's happening, the crisis in full from red blood cell, the other red blood cells are like, what? This body's about to die. All right, it's time to deliver that oxygen. And then the guy, and it's funny. I also thought it was funny, like, okay, so when red blood cell wakes up and looks around, she sees hundreds of red blood cells, but you also see amongst the scenery, there's like igloos and stuff, which implies that these red blood cells came here. They did not know what was going on, but they resorted to making igloos because they're like, oh, there's snow. Okay, that's great.
Okay, what do we do? We're making igloos? Okay.
And I thought that was hilarious.
I liked his speech, too. That was just like full of just like weird cliches. They're just like yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Nothing. Try our hardest. And everyone's like, yeah.
And I like it when they start delivering the oxygen. They're always like, here's your oxygen. And guys are like, who are you?
Yeah.
Who are you? Like, it's so weird.
I can't. It doesn't make sense, though, because they're just wearing red blood cell uniforms. I guess that slight difference in uniform is just like, oh, they're completely alien now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the new red blood cells. They seem like a good bunch.
Do you think our red blood cell senpai, do you think she's one of the zillions that got dead?
No, I think, don't we see her?
I didn't see her.
Wait, what do you mean our red blood cell
senpai? The senpai, the one who gave her the little
oh, right.
Yeah.
It's because remember, like when red blood cell turns and says like, it's like, I'm sorry, and it's good, I'll be a good senpai, and she's talking to a completely random cell. She's like, oh, wrong person. Like in the background, the one running toward her, I thought that was her senpai.
That's right. I was wondering who that was. I was like, who's that random one?
I thought that was the trainee. It's hard to...
No, the trainee at that point was mingling with the other red blood cells.
Oh, okay.
And the one running towards her was...
her senpai?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, that's how it ends. Red blood cell and neutrophil catch up with each other again. And I sense no romantic inclinations or whatever, which is usually what would happen in a moment of crisis, especially post-moment of crisis, but that's how it happens. Because they're not a romantic relationship. Anyways.
Her cheek blushed. Both
she's always
cheeks
blushing.
Blushed.
Always blushing.
She's always blushing. She's a red blood cell.
All right. So do you think the show will be renewed for season 2?
I think so.
I think so.
Do I think it deserves a season 2? Probably not. They covered a lot about the body.
What about the body would you like to see cover that they haven't covered yet?
I don't know. Now that I found out there's a cancer cell too, that sounds.
You just want
cool.
more cancer.
I just want that episode.
Okay, you know what'd be awesome if they had a whole season devoted to cancer, and then
Oh my God,
the
I
whole
don't know
body
about
going
that.
through cancer.
Okay, no.
No, because it would be trial and tribulation.
I know you guys want this show to be like a really dark cartoon about the body struggling, and it's like this hardcore medical drama about what's going on inside the body. But I really don't think this show needs to be that. I think it can have its dramatic moments, but overall, the lighthearted tone, I think, suits it, and it makes it enjoyable to watch for me.
What other episode would you want then?
Well, I'm looking at the manga list right now, and there's some interesting ones here. The one I see, dengue fever, pimple,
What is that?
acquired immunity,
Boring.
the common cold. I don't know. That's like I'm actually surprised they didn't go to the common cold.
I thought they did. All right, but you know what? You know what sounds even more awesome? Let me. How about any of these? It's chapter 1, smoking, germs, the beginning of an end. Chapter 2, liver, alcohol, pride. Chapter 3, erection, ejaculation, emptiness.
Wait, where are you?
These are the chapters for Cells at Work Black.
Oh my god.
Doesn't that sound awesome?
There's already a series for that kind of darker stuff.
They really, yeah.
Awesome. Do I find this on like Pornhub or something? Is that where do you find
It's not porn, jeez. Okay. Wait, is it porn, Coby? I don't know.
I don't think it's porn. But the white blood cell looks like a girl instead of a
Ooh la la. Is the red blood cell a boy?
I don't think so. I don't know.
It looks like something worth checking out. If they turned that into an anime, I think that would probably be. Well, I would want to see more of this, and I'd want to see Cells at Work Black as an anime.
God, I know. Sorry, I spent this time looking at Black. Because Black just looks awesome. I'm just like cruising through some like cell things. It looks great. Doesn't matter.
It is a manga, right?
Yeah,
like
it's a manga.
How many volumes?
Don't know that off the top of my head. I just know volume 1. These are just those first 4 chapters, which is like that erection and emptiness. It's like, what?
Really?
Erection and emptiness. That's so funny.
Oh man, we might have to do a Cells at Work aftermath of Cells at Work Black.
Just talking about it, about what? Yeah, that's the biggest thing about Cells at Work that I'll say about this. It makes me want to see a Cells at Work Black. That's my end thoughts about this anime.
Okay, that's your final analysis.
Yeah, that I want to see Cells at Work Black. This was a good. Realistically, this was a fun show. I was asked whether I would recommend this to somebody, and it's like it's a difficult question. It's like, would I? It's like, I don't really think so. I think it's fun I think there's a few choice episodes I would recommend. It's just like, these are really cool. Mm-hmm. But other than that, it was just like, it was an okay series from start to finish, and it had some really high moments and with some like kind of really low moments. But overall, it was a fun watch and I just really want to see Cells at Work Black.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jeff?
I actually find it hard to recommend as well, unless you are, let's say you're not into anime, but you want to get into it, and you're also into medical science stuff. That's like, I know it's a very specific thing, or a very specific niche audience, but that's who I would recommend this to. To anyone else, there's probably better 13-episode animes for you to invest your time into. So yeah, I like it, but I find it difficult to recommend. If you really want something that's like just light and fun to watch, maybe something that goes in the background and doesn't really require that much attention, then I guess I'd recommend that to you as well. Otherwise, if you're a fan of anime and you like good anime, then I would point you elsewhere.
If the word neutrophil gives you a hard, then I have the right anime for you. Yeah, like a hard.
A hard what?
This is not Cells at Work Black, okay? But I agree with you guys. I don't know. It is popular though. So is it good? Like, do people like this? Right?
I think it's a combination of cute and also relatable. #relatable. We have cells, get it?
Is it relatable? I don't watch Cancer Cell and I'm like, wow, I have cancer too.
I think it's it's like that Osmosis Jones vibe. It's got a good design. It's fun. It's just fun and simple,
it's a good world like around it. Like,
yeah.
It's just interesting to watch and think. Like every episode did have like a cool thing. Like this episode, we got introduced to the lungs and we saw they were like gigantic wind turbines. Like I thought that was like,
I think we saw them some other time, didn't we?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that's neat.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's it. Is there anything else you guys want to add to this, our final episode review series.
No, this is fun.
I'm trying to think if it... Does it suck? I don't know.
No, I don't think it sucks.
I don't think it sucks either.
But do I think it sucks? That's the question I'm asking myself.
Oh yeah,
I think okay. I think I'm with you guys. It's okay. It had
good.
it had good moments that I can think of that were good. So I can't say it sucks.
Great.
But it had plenty of moments that were bad. So I could say it's all right.
So we are in agreement. The show is okay. I think I like it the most out of all you guys. I actually like it, but yeah, in terms of recommendation, yeah, difficult to recommend. Anyways, I'm just saying the same thing over and over again. Well, let us end our series review with Coby closing us off.
Well, thank you. You found this on Nerd Blaze. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back. We're gonna choose our next anime that we're gonna do a weekly review on. We're still in discussions about that, but we're gonna find a good one because we like talking to each other in a sense, and we like talking to the few of you guys who comment with us. I mean, it's always fun because we like talking about anime. We like talking about this stuff. But thank you all very much for those who listened, and we'll be back very soon.
See ya.
Bye.